The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by Run Your Pool. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com Survivor to get your free entry into our NFL Survivor contest. First place gets $500 in cash and a $250 gift card to the SGPN store. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford. I am in Newcastle upon Tyne, Northeast England. Today is Sunday, August 14, and we are here to handicap a slate of MLB action for Monday, August the 15th. I have two co-hosts tonight. I'll introduce the first one who's paying attention. Coming to us is the youngster, Dylan Rock. Dylan, what's happening?
How's it going, Malcolm? Good to be with you. I haven't talked to you or seen you in about a week. How was the vacation?
Yeah, it was all right, mate. Cheap and cheerful. Didn't go anywhere really fancy. East coast of England, but I had some good family time. I was very brave. I rode some roller coasters with my daughter because no one else would go on. And I also got in the sea, which is that's pretty brave for me. I'm a very soft man, so I did a couple of brave things. Yeah, we had some good fun and played around the beach and ate ice creams and things like that. So lots of fun. And the reason I introduced you as the one who is paying attention is because our other current co-host is sweating about, I'm going to say 5 or 6 different bets on different sports. He's doing his thing. He's laughing. He's doing his thing where his eyeballs are going left and right above the screen, watching all the sport. Moonaf, do you want to tell us what's going on, and then we leave you to watch and chip in whenever you can.
There's a lot going on, Malcolm. I just cashed the WNBA bet. I had the aces, so that came in. So, but the bigger sweats. I have some NASCAR going, but that's a little NASCAR. Yeah, that's a little more. I don't know what the word is. What I'm looking for, but my main sweat right now is we are sweating out the FedEx St. Jude Championship with Willie Z, tied for the lead right now with Straka, and I have a 22-1 ticket on him right now, and. Oh, I have zero faith in Willie Z to pull this out right now. So if you see me falling out of my chair here, Malcolm, you'll know why.
Well, 10 minutes ago, I had no dog in this fight whatsoever. But having talked to you, I've just put the golf on now. Yeah, looking forward to us sweating this for the next half an hour as we try to handicap some baseball games for you. I'm a broken man today. I've had my under 11 football team at a tournament for the first time. They've got up in an age group. So there's been some rule changes. They're playing offsides for the first time. I don't know how high-level coaches do it because I've had the 11-year-old kids at a tournament today, and I am drained. I am an absolutely broken man. So hats off to all those grassroots coaches who are at the coalface doing it with the young boys and girls of our two countries because it's a thankless task, and honestly, it absolutely batters my head. So I haven't seen any baseball either today, but there was some talk on the channel earlier on that we were going to attempt to mush was it a perfect game, Dylan? Was it Drew Rasmussen earlier on you were telling me?
Yeah, Drew Rasmussen, he was going perfect through 8 and then led the 9th inning off with it. He gave up a double. He actually gave up a run. But no, he was pitching really good. I think he had 78 pitches through 8 innings, so very efficient.
Yeah, so we didn't get on to mush that in time, but yeah, interesting stuff. So I'm a little bit out the loop on the baseball scores today. I'll have to catch up in a little while. But we do have games tomorrow. We're going to start with, there's a double header, which we've got 5 or 6, not 5 or 6, maybe 3 or 4 games off the board at the moment. We often have this issue on a Sunday night while teams shuffle their pitches around. But the double header, we can handicap game 1, but there's a TBD pitcher in game 2. And it's the Detroit Tigers at the Cleveland Guardians. The first game is the one where we have both pitchers and lines for. That's a 3 Eastern first pitch. The pitchers will be Drew Hutchison for the Detroit Tigers and Aaron Savali for the Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians are a shade over 2-1 on for this one, -205. Detroit are plus 175. Was that the first game? Have I got this the wrong way around?
No, it's the first game.
You're right.
Oh, sorry, it's the line. It's
start.
like, yeah, I've got the right. It's I've got the lines the wrong way around here. So Cleveland are minus 211, Detroit plus 180, and the total here is set at 8. So Moon, if you tackled this doubleheader for us, so sorry to distract you. I'll watch Willie Z. You tell us about Detroit and Cleveland.
Yeah, Detroit and Cleveland, like you said, first game of the doubleheader for, of course, he doesn't stay on the fairway. The doubleheader for this game here. When we talked about Aaron Savali last week, I know these two teams recently played a series, I believe it was last week on the 10th, where Aaron Savali went up against his Tigers team. And I mentioned on that podcast that these Guardians pitchers do really well against Tigers against the Tigers team. I'm sorry. So Savali over his career, and this dates back to 2019. He's a perfect 7-0 with a 2.11 ERA against the Detroit Tigers. His last start, he had a decent outing where he gave up 2 earned runs, but that was in 4 innings. But the Guardians still went on to win that game 3-2. You know, you mentioned Drew Hutchison is going to be the starting pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. Last 5 games, he's 0-2 with a 4.97 ERA. On the road, 0-1 with a 4.07 ERA. He did have a good outing. These two pitchers did match up back on Wednesday, August 10th. 5 innings, he gave up 3 earned runs. So I'm going to stay here with the Guardians. I like Savali's history against the Detroit Tigers. I'll take the first 5 inning money line here with the Cleveland Guardians. I'm sorry, not the money line. I'll take the run line here on the Cleveland Guardians in the first 5 innings with Aaron Savali going up against Drew Hutchison, Malcolm.
And Moon, if we go straight into the second game, we've got Brian Garcia going for Detroit and excuse me, TBD pitcher for me for the Cleveland Guardians. Did you have a steer on this second game at all?
I really didn't. Without pitchers, I didn't have one. I've been seeing Connor Pinkleton may get the start here for the Cleveland Guardians, but I'll be honest, I didn't dig into the second game of the doubleheader. I just really like the Guardians here in this first 5 run line against Drew Hutchison.
That's perked me up because you can never get Connor Pilkington's name right. You always say Pinkleton, which is I'm never going to get bored of that. No, it's fine. I really enjoy it, Moon. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, Dylan, Detroit at Cleveland. So game 1, or did you have any lean for game 2 either on this one?
No lean. I didn't even know Connor Pilkington was going for game 2. So no real feel for the second game. But for the first game, instead of doing the first 5 minus the half, I'll do the first game full game minus the run and a half. I think the Nationals, they're in shambles right now. They've lost 9 of their last 10. Guardians, they're red hot, 7-3 in their last 10. And I think that they're up right now against the Blue Jays, or they've won already. So 8-3. And I think they have the Tigers number this season. They've won the last 5 games between the two teams. So you're giving me plus money with the much better team with the pitcher who has a better history against them. I'm going to take the run line at plus money here.
Yeah, I think the only way I look to play this was I think this is a really good spot for Cleveland to take both legs of the doubleheader. And I thought you could have parlayed them that way. You're right. Detroit have completely fallen in a hole again. Cleveland are playing sound baseball. Often we talk when there is a doubleheader that we like to take one team to take each leg, but I don't think that's the case tomorrow. I think Cleveland could, in this first game, put their foot on their throats and not let them up for the rest of the day. So maybe parlay Cleveland for both games tomorrow. Next is a 6:40 Eastern first pitch, which is the Philadelphia Phillies at the Cincinnati Reds, where Noah Syndergaard will take the ball for Philly, and Mike Minor, the lefty, goes for the Reds. The Phillies are road favourites, minus 175. Cincinnati plus 150, a home puppy. Totally set at 9. And we're back to you, Moon. I'm going to harass you some more. Lead us off with Philly at Cincinnati.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot. I think it was last week when I mentioned that the Phillies do really well against shitty pitchers, and they're facing a shitty pitcher here in Mike Minor. We saw this weekend was a prime example that they went up against great starting pitching in the New York Mets, and they weren't able to do a lot offensively for this series against the Mets. But now you're going up against a pitcher like Mike Minor, who's 1-9 on the season with a 6.24 ERA. Last 5 games, 0-3 with a 5.63 ERA. at home this season, 0-6 with a 6.25 ERA, and against NL East teams, 0-4 with a 6.10 ERA. And the thing that really sticks out to me is the left-handed batting numbers. I'm trying to say for the Phillies, where they are number one in the weighted against left-handed pitching. So Mike Minor, we know he's a left-handed pitcher. I like the Phillies here to get the job done. Noah Syndergaard, he's been a little bit of trouble for the Phillies over his last 2 games, 1-2 with a 4.21 ERA, in away games 1-6 with a 5.17 ERA. I'll lean towards the over in this game as well. Give me the Phillies team total in this game as well, but I think that eventually, or the Phillies do find a way to get the job done here against Cincinnati Reds and Mike Minor. So a couple of different ways I do like this game is Phillies team total. I like the full game over. And I think that the Phillies do pull it out at the end of the game here, Malcolm.
Okay. Dylan, what do you make of this one?
Yeah, give me the Phillies here, -1.5. The Reds are just playing bad baseball as well. They've lost 5 in a row. They haven't scored 3 runs or more in those 5 games. They just seem not to be able to score any runs. And now Mike Minor's on the bump for the Reds. And I think the Phillies are going to tax him. I think Munaf made a great point. They tax really bad pitchers, but when they go up against good pitchers, they did get the win against Scherzer, but I'll write that one off as luck. So I think the Phillies, they'll bounce back after the bad series against the Mets. So give me the Phillies here, -1.5.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Phillies have to win this one. They're about 25 points too short for me to take as an outright. You could have taken them at -150, but not at the -175. I actually came down on the under 9. 9 seems a lot when the Reds can't score any runs. Dylan's just pointed out that they can barely get to 3. I'm expecting a little bit better from Syndergaard. I took Minor last week as a dog against the Mets, which you all laughed at. And actually, I think both teams ended up with 8 hits, so it wasn't a terrible pick, although the Mets did get their noses in front in that one. So I thought Minor didn't pitch too bad in that game. Ended up giving up 4 earned runs, I think. But if the Reds are going to score 1 or 2, the Phillies still aren't that potent in offense, and that means they're going to have to score 6, 7, 8 runs to get this over. So I thought the 9 just looked a tick too high for me. Well, it's not as strongly, and it was a pretty ugly game to handicap. So yeah, under 9 for me. But so I think we came down on all different sides of that one. Next up is the 6:40 Eastern first pitch between the San Diego Padres and the Miami Marlins, which is Joe Musgrove and Sandy Alcantara goes for Miami. San Diego are -128. Another home dog, the Marlins, at +110. Totally ever set at 6.5. And who is going to lead us off with this one? Dylan. We'll throw this across to you. Good pitching matchup, probably the best one on the slate.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, 2 plays for me in this one. I did make the Marlins a short -105 favorite. So at this plus money, I'm going to take the home puppy here. And I'll also go under 6.5 as well. I made my total 5.8. Two great pitchers going in Musgrove and Alcantara. Alcantara, he's 6-3 at home in his last 4 starts at home. 3 have finished below this number. Usually when he pitches at home, we see a lower scoring game. Now with Musgrove, he hasn't looked like his normal self the past few starts on the road. The Padres have actually lost 5 of his last 6 starts. So I think the Fish are live here with their ace on the mound, and I think we see a lower scoring game. I think both offenses they're just not scoring a lot of runs. So I'm going to take the under 6.5, and I'll also take the home puppy here.
Yeah, that 6.5 just frightens you. It's a horrible number to have to take an under on. I thought that was too low with the Padres offense. I think we could probably get maybe late in the game, but we could get over 6.5. And like you say, Musgrove has been ever so slightly vulnerable. I couldn't pick a side on this one, but I certainly couldn't bring myself to take the under on the 6.5. So I came down on the other side, was it over. That was just a little value play, really. Again, not a strong lead. Munaf, can you split the tie on this one? Musgrove v. Alcantara?
Yeah, I like the idea of getting plus money here at home with Sandy Alcantara. Just because of what Dylan mentioned, that he's just been so good at home this season. And I mean, frankly, overall for the season, he's been really good. But 10-5 record with a 2.01 ERA at home, 6-3 with a 1.78 ERA. If you're able to get a 3.5 on the first 5, I would like the under on that, because I feel like these two pitchers will be dealing early in the game, and I think that we've seen where Sandy's been in these games where they're really low scoring within that first 5 innings, and for whatever reason, sometimes Mattingly leaves them out there too long, and he gives up a couple runs, maybe that 7th, 8th inning that could cost you that under if you do play the full game, but. I really like that first 5 under 3.5. I'm assuming that's what the number would be. And then on the side, I do like getting Sandy Alcantara with plus money here at home.
Okay, so a couple of votes there for the Marlins as a home puppy. The live chat is open as always when we do our YouTube and Twitter live streams. So good evening to Ryan and David. We're both chirping up in there. Nice to have the DJs joining in. Next up is the 7:05 Eastern first pitch. The Chicago Cubs and the Washington Nationals, where Marcus Stroman, officially TBD, I think it's going to be Stroman. You boys can correct me if you think I'm wrong. Will go for the Cubs, and Jojo Gray will be on the hill for the Nationals. It's another home puppy. That's three on the spin here. The Cubs are minus 139. The Nationals are plus 120. Total here is set at 8.5. Stroman is 3-5 for 4.20 ERA. Has pitched 79 1/3 with 74 strikeouts. Josiah Gray is 7-8 with a 4.81 ERA, 112 1/3 pitched, 127 strikeouts. Stroman's going along really nicely for the Cubs. We've mentioned him and favoured him a couple of times over the last few weeks here. A 2.89 ERA in his last 5 starts. He's got a 2.26 road ERA, and he's actually pitched the majority of his innings on the road, which I think is just a quirk of the schedule, really. He's pitched 51 2/3 of those 79 innings in total on the road so far this season. Has pitched against Washington in his last start. Actually gave up 4 earned runs in that one, but that was a home start. And like we said, he's been a lot better on the road. Jojo Gray, it's no secret, I've been quite keen on him, but it's even if you're keen on a player, sometimes you just have to sort of wait them out. He's on a little bit of a downturn, really, on his cycle. He's 7.11 ERA in his last 5, 2-7 at home with a 6.75 ERA. I don't know, potentially, if there's a little bit of fatigue setting in, because he's quite a young kid and he's pitched a lot of innings. It's been quite a long and arduous season for anyone on the Nationals. So I'm not sure how much fun Josiah Gray is having at the moment. This is 2 poor teams, but the Cubs are actually playing okay. They had won 3 in a row, I think, before tonight. I think they've lost tonight, but they were 6-4 in the last 10. And that minus 139 against Gray, who is struggling, and the Nationals, who are very poor, seems fair enough to me. I'll take the Cubs on the money line, Munaf.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, Stroman's been going along very well, but he had a start last week, actually, against his Nationals team, where he did give up 4 earned runs at Wrigley Field to the Washington Nationals. And, we talked a lot about Josiah Gray all this season. He's a pitcher that I want to possibly back on the road, but not at home. Like you mentioned, 2-7 with a 6.75 ERA. I like the first 5 over in this game between these two pitchers. You mentioned that the Cubs have been doing pretty well over this last week, where they've won, some games, but I think we could get some, just because Juan Soto and Josh Bell have been gone from this team, I think the Nationals are still able to put up some runs. So I think that there's a possibility that we see some runs being scored in this game, especially with Josiah Gray struggles at home. He gives up the long ball. He gives up a lot of walks as well. He averages about 2.5 walks per game. I just don't trust him at home. So I'm going to just back the over here in this game between these two pitchers. Give me the over, possibly 4.5 or 5 in this game between the Nationals and the Cubs.
Okay, Dylan, Cubs v Nats.
Yeah, kind of chalky play here, but I do like the Cubbies here on the money line. Like I said last week, you got to be super careful when you want to back the Nationals. They did pull out the outright win on Saturday night against the Padres, but they're still 2-8 in their last 10. So not a team I want to put my money on. But Stroman, he hasn't had the best year, but for whatever reason, like Munaf said, got to look to his home and away splits. He's been able to pitch well on the road for whatever reason. 3-2 with a 2.26 ERA. The Nationals were able to get to Stroman last week, but that was in Chicago. So back home, I think it's a little revenge spot for him and the Cubs. So give me the Cubbies here to get the revenge, minus 140.
Okay. A little contemplative stroke of Moonaf's beard as Willie Z slides one past the left edge of the cup. Moonaf's face is an absolute picture. All of these lines that we're giving you out tonight are from our headline sponsor here on the MLB Gambling Podcast, which is WinBet. It's the perfect time to join WinBet. You'll get a $100 bet, a $100 free bet when you bet $100 or more. Reduced juice on baseball as well. So if you are betting MLB, WinBet is absolutely the best place to do it. And the casino is on the go 24 hours a day as well. You'll get a 100% deposit bonus there, up to $1,000. Loads to choose from. Head to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet. Offer subject to change. T's and C's at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Odds Trader are a firm who've come on board with us as well lately. If you're a DJ and a gambler, this is the place, honestly. Absolutely outstanding service. You can compare odds from all the major sports books to make sure you get the best value. Compare sign-up codes and promos so you get the right bonuses as well. As well as that, you can get player stats, key game stats, injury reports, projected game weather, and a little tracker so you can track all your bets. Perfect tool if you're going to have a little punt. Odds Trader is the place to find all of that. Oddstrader.com/Blue Wire. Odds Trader is the #1 site for all your game day bets. Next, we will go to... I'm going to do the Mets now because I'm going to forget they're about to disappear off the top of my page. So I will not let Jeff Fox have the pleasure of hearing me forget the Mets. 7:20 Eastern first pitch is the New York Mets at the Atlanta Braves. Carlos Carrasco goes for the Mets, and Spencer Strider gets the start for the Atlanta Braves. The Mets here are plus 130. Not often the Mets have been a dog this season. The Braves minus 152. Total here is set at 8. Dylan, tell us about your Mets and why they're going to turn over Atlanta tomorrow.
Yeah, no bias here, but how are the Braves a minus 150? I saw it as high as a minus 170 favorite with Uncle Charlie on the mound. There's just no way. Maybe since they're
have you got Charlie Morton going?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I got Spencer Strider.
Whoever's on the mound, whoever's on the mound, it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. I know they're playing better baseball. They did have that nice comeback win today against the Marlins, but Cookie Carrasco's been lights out since the beginning of July. The Mets have won the last 7 games he started, one of them being against the Braves. And let's not forget, Cookie Carrasco, he's 2-0 against the Braves this season, 1.93 ERA, and they're only hitting a $1.96 off of him. I just think he's going to continue to dominate. He's going to get his 14th win. The Mets are just a better team right now, so give me the Mets minus plus 145 I was able to get.
Has Carrasco not been struggling his last couple of starts? Has he been going okay?
He's been lights out.
Right, so who am I thinking of?
No one on the Mets.
No one on the Mets has been struggling. Okay, no problem.
Do no wrong right now.
According
to Dylan.
Come on.
Until it gets to the postseason.
This is a weird one because Strider's obviously a bit of a darling at the moment. He's certainly been a fantasy darling all season, and he's making quite a lot of noise. He has been a talking horse fairly recently. So yeah, the 8 looks like a fair line for me to take the under on. 2 decent offenses, but these teams, the Mets had the Braves number in that 5-game series. I think it finished 4-1, which was dating back to last weekend. So I wasn't brave enough to take the Mets like Dylan is, but I'm brave enough to take the total under the total of 8 at minus 105, Muna.
Carrasco is 7-0 with a 2.54 ERA against NL East teams this season.
Nice.
And you take a look at Spencer Strider this season, 4-3 with a 4.42 ERA, and in 2 appearances or 2 starts against the Mets this season, 0-1 with a 6.14 ERA. I think there's some value here on the New York Mets money line here. So I'm going to take the Mets here with Cookie Carrasco. It's crazy to see that he has 13 wins on the season. I would have never guessed that, but going for his 14th win here, I think he gets the job done here for the New York Mets. Big series. This is a big one.
Yeah, this is a huge series, Malcolm. This is the guy. If Spencer Strider does go, isn't this the guy that said we were lucky?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said that.
Extra motivation. It's probably on the bulletin this tomorrow.
Yeah.
He said that the Mets were carrying all the luck. So, yeah, there will be a little bit of needle there tomorrow. Looking forward to that one. 7:05 Eastern first pitch. The Tampa Bay Rays go to the New York Yankees. Both officially TBD pitches. We think that it's Ryan Yarbrough who potentially leads off a bullpen day for the Tampa Bay Rays. And Garrett Cole goes for the Yankees. No lines on the board for this at all. Munaf with no lines in a TBD picture. What have you got to tell us about this one, or is it a hard pass with a lack of info?
I think I'll give some information on Garrett Cole just against the Rays this season. 1-0 with a .93 ERA, 29 strikeouts in 3 appearances. So in 19 1/3 innings against the Rays this season, he's only allowed 2 earned runs to the Tampa Bay Rays. And which offense do you trust more here? Is it the New York Yankees or the Tampa Bay Rays? So I think that this is a game where Cole kind of just needs to forget about the last start he had in Yankee Stadium, which was against the Mariners. And he has good numbers against the Rays this season. And I'm sure this number is probably going to be a huge, -250 number, probably maybe north of 300 for the Yankees here. But I just don't see a world where Garrett Cole just didn't come out and pitch well against the Tampa Bay Rays here. So depending on the number, I'll probably look at a run line here for the Yankees. But other than that, I mean, that's just the information I have for Garrett Cole so far against the Rays this season. I'm sorry.
Dylan, did you have much on this game?
Yeah, not much. I mean, I can't back either team right now. Yankees. I think in the group chat, me and Munaf were talking about how just bad Garrett Cole has been, and I just don't think he's an ace right now. I mean, aces don't do what he's been doing the past couple starts. So maybe look towards under. I think both of these teams have been struggling to score some runs, especially the Yankees out of the All-Star break. So I agree. I do think they'll open up a huge favorite just because based on his name, Garrett Cole, they'll probably open up over a $2 favorite. So if you want to take a swing with the Tampa Bay Rays, if you're able to get good value, I mean, I don't see why not. Maybe first 5 plus a half, but I'm probably going to stay away from this game.
Yeah, that's it. I would have liked to have seen the lines on this game because I really enjoy fading Garrett Cole. You can often get a big price on the Yobbo for the reasons you've just been saying. Name recognition. He's pretty much standard -200. I mean, you can often get him beat at those prices. The Yankee, you can't back the Yankees 2-8 in the last 10. Sneaked a win yesterday. They play tonight, don't they, actually? In the late game against the Red Sox. And Tampa Bay have been better, actually, recently, but I'm still not really keen. So there was nothing in this that I would agree with you, Dylan, that if I was going to have a pizza bet, the pizza bet would be on the Yankees. On the Rays. But yeah, got nothing inspired me to want to have a punt on this game at all. And with no lines out, I was happy to give it the swerve. Next is a 7:07 Eastern. First pitch between the Baltimore Orioles and the Toronto Blue Jays, where Kyle Bradish gets the start for Baltimore, and lefty Yusei Kikuchi goes for the Toronto Blue Jays. Lines are Baltimore +140, Toronto -164. Totally are set at 9. And this one is across to you, Munaf.
Yeah, battle of an AL East matchup here, and these two pitchers actually, I believe, matched up on Monday. I believe it was last Monday. And Kikuchi, I faded Kikuchi on the road earlier this week, last Monday against the Baltimore Orioles. And, we talked about how he's not a great pitcher on the road, but the numbers are slightly better at home for Kikuchi, 4-2 with a 4.22 ERA. But I think the bigger thing for me here is that Kyle Bradish seems like he's kind of figured out, some things while, he made his return. And over his last 3 starts, he's been pretty solid for the Baltimore Orioles. has pitched 15 and 1/3 innings, only allowed 6 earned runs in that span. He's coming off a victory against Toronto, where he did give up 3 earned runs in 5 and 1/3 innings pitched to the Blue Jays, but the Blue Jays did get the victory in that game with Bradish on the mound. And I can't put my money behind Kikuchi. I don't trust him. And Baltimore, I understand they're not doing. They are actually number 8 in WRC plus against left-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks, and I think this might be a spot where the Baltimore Orioles are going to be a underdog in this game again, a significant underdog. I don't want to lay a minus 165 price with the Toronto Blue Jays either. So I like the Baltimore Orioles money line here plus 140. I also like the over 9 in this game. I think we can see runs being put up, especially with these two pitchers on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, if we did our Lock Dog Total show for the Saturday night games, and I actually mentioned that I like Baltimore going up against Shane McClanahan for the reasons you've just said about the left-handed pitching. It didn't quite pay off. McClanahan and Tampa Bay overcame then that night. This was weird because I'm not into Kikuchi at all, but I wasn't quite brave enough to take Bradish. Although, start of the season, a lot of good talk about him. I think he had a couple of good starts, and then he kind of regressed, which is fair enough. And he came back in Baltimore. These young pitchers have mirrored what Baltimore have done this season, which has kind of outperformed what people thought. And it's been good to see and positive. So on the grounds, I wasn't brave enough to take either side. I thought that over was a possibility here at 9. Don't like Kikuchi. And as much as I do like Bradish, I think there's probably 3 or 4 runs that an offense like Toronto can take off him. So I think we can get over 9 in this one. Dylan, Baltimore v Toronto.
Yeah, team ride. I'm going to go on the over as well. No real opinion on the side. I think the number is low for 9. I set my total at 9.9, almost at a 10. So I'm going to fade both of these starters, Bradish and Kikuchi. Whenever Bradish is on the mound, I usually look toward the over or the opposing team's team total. In his 13 games he started this season, 8 of them have gone over the number. He's faced the Blue Jays twice. The Orioles lost both of those games, and he has an ERA of 7.45. Teams are hitting 359 off of him. And Kikuchi, he's faced the Orioles twice, lost both of those games as well, and both of those games went way over. So I just think this game lines up perfectly for another over. So I think we see a ton of runs. Give me the over 9.
David in the chat's gone extremely brave with the O's on the run line. So why not get some fancy prices in the books there for that one? 7:40 Eastern first pitch is the Kansas City Royals and the Minnesota Twins, which is the left-handed pitcher Chris Bubich goes for Kansas City, and Joe Ryan will go for Minnesota. The lines on this one have the Kansas City Royals at plus 177, Minnesota prohibitive at minus 214, total set at 8.5. Bubich is 2-6 with a 5.02 ERA. Has pitched 86 innings with 73 strikeouts. Joe Ryan 8-5, 3.95 ERA, 95 2/3 pitched, 93 strikeouts. Bubich's initial stat line is quite misleading because he's been really good recently. 2.27 ERA in his last 5 starts, and those 5 starts have been the White Sox, the Red Sox, the Yankees, Tampa, and Toronto. So he's faced kind of the upper tier of opposition there. He has got a lot of run support, which you can't always rely on for KC. But KC have been quite combative lately. I think they've got a win over the Dodgers tonight, KC. So they've been wagging their tails as a dog. Joe Ryan's had 2 shockers in his last 3 starts. Gave up 10 against San Diego 3 starts ago, the game in which I locked him up to win, and gave up 5 against the LA Dodgers. Back against slightly softer opposition this time. And Joe Ryan's been really good against this division as well. He's seen this division a lot, and he's been excellent. I thought this could, you've got to give Bubich a little bit of credit here for what he's been doing. So if he can keep this tight, maybe a first 5 under for this one, and we might see some runs later on. But I think both pitchers can go okay, and I would take a first 5 under. Dylan. Kansas City at Minnesota.
Yeah, slight lean towards the over in the full game. I set my total at 8.8. The Royals and the Twins have both been involved in a lot of high-scoring games this past week. Royals are 7-3 towards the over, while the Twins are 5-4-1 towards the over in both of their last 10 games. Actually, 4 of the last 5 games between these two teams have skied over this number. So usually when these two teams link up, we see some runs being scored. I don't trust Bubic on the road, and the last 3 starts for Ryan, he hasn't been his best. So I'm going to fade both pitchers. I hope for some runs tomorrow. So over 8.5 is the play for me.
Munaf, Bubic v. Ryan.
Yeah, if you take a look at Joe Ryan against AL Central teams this season, he is 6-0 with a 1.79 ERA, and then he has had 2 starts against the Orioles this season where he's been absolutely dominant. He's 2-0 in the situations with a 0.77 ERA, 11 2/3 innings pitched, only allowed 1 earned run to the Kansas City Royals. I know this is a big number. Of maybe this is a parlay piece for the Minnesota Twins money line here, but I'm going to go with the run line here for the Minnesota Twins -1.5 plus 105.
Okay, so
with these 2 pitchers.
Moving off all over the Twins there. Okay, let's advertise more stuff. Run Your Pool, Munaf's favourite. The home of competition, which brings sports fans and their social circles together to compete, connect, and make every game matter more. Run Your Pool offers every game type under the sun, from Pick'em and Survivor to fantasy pools. It's a one-stop shop for sports gaming with customizable features that you don't get anywhere else. We have teamed up with Run Your Pool to host our official SGPN NFL Survivor contest. Get in. Free to enter as well. My entry is already in. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor. Prize are being announced. Winner take all $500 and $250 to the SGPN store. So yeah, football season right around the corner. And Sleeper, you will have the app already. I know I do. We were talking last week that I got my notifications about my league being renewed. I've got 4 or 5 leagues on there. Great website, great app, but they've added to it with the over or under game, so you can make a few quid as well. Choose your sport, choose your players, choose your props, and then you can win anywhere from 2 times to 20 times the money that you've put in. Sleeper is the first sports contest game which is built into your fantasy experience. The chat box is great, loads of fun. You can tell your friends picks, get the smack talk going in there. So download Sleeper now, play the over or under game. You can join our listener group on Sleeper at sleeper.com/SGP. Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. Go to sleeper.com/SGP to get that $100 match on your first deposit. T's and C's apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Next, 8:05 Eastern first pitch is the Auckland Athletics and the Texas Rangers, which is James Caprillion for Auckland, and he will take on Glenn Otto of the Texas Rangers. Auckland are plus 136, Texas minus 158 jollies, with the total set at 8. D-Rock, Auckland, Texas. A bit of a bum fight, who do you think?
Yeah, I was actually able to get an under 8.5. I took that under. At 8, I still like the under. I made my total 8.2. Despite both teams really struggling to win a game recently, Rangers won actually today, but they're both of them just been having some tough time scoring runs. The A's have scored 5 runs just one time in their last 8 games, so if you can't score, it's simple. You can't win games. Now, another reason I do like the under is because Caprillion has had success against the Rangers this season. He's actually pitched pretty decent in his last few starts. 3 of his last 4 games have gone under the numbers. So he's been locked in recently. So I don't think we see a lot of runs scored in both in either team. So maybe a 3-1, 4-1 game. Let's get another under 8.5, under 8, whatever you like.
Munaf, are you slightly distracted? The golf's heating up now. It's coming to a climax. Tell us about Auckland and Texas. What's not exciting about that?
Caprillion, he's been good over his last 5 games here. 2-1 with a 2.73 ERA. He did have a bad start, we could say a bad start against the Angels in his last start, where he went 5 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, 3 walks. Did have 6 strikeouts in that game, but he has faced the Rangers this season, and I'm trying to filter it down to see how he's done against them this season. He's He's 14 and 1/3 innings pitched. He's gave up 7 earned runs, but his last start was back on July 23rd versus Texas, where he threw 5 shutout innings. So I like the form that he is in. There's no way I'm putting my money behind Glenn Otto, who's kind of, over his last 3 games, 0-3, 4.61 ERA against the A's. Does have a victory in 2 starts, with the ERAs at 4.82. At home this season, 2-4 with a 6.69 ERA. So I personally think there may be some value here on the Oakland A's on the first 5 innings money line behind Caprillion and the recent form that he has been in. There's opportunities this weekend for the A's to, steal the first 5 innings money line against the Houston Astros, but their offense just, really carried them all throughout the weekend for the Astros against the A's. But I think that this might be an opportunity where the A's can at least get a first 5 victory here on the money line. So I'm going to go with the first 5 inning money line. I do agree about the under that Dylan gave out as well.
Yeah, when you were looking for an angle to attack this game, there is no way, you're right, Munaf, you can back Glenn Otto at a price of -158. You'd have to be absolutely nuts, which leads you to the total, which you both corrected. The under, I think, is far more likely. But Caprillion's been going okay. Now, you see, I never considered, again, Moon, if I do this a lot, I never considered Auckland on the first 5. My pick is Auckland on the money line, just because I like how Caprillion's been going, and I don't like how Otto's been good. But this first 5 thing, it never occurs to me enough. And you've just turned me onto that straight away. So I've got Auckland money line written down here at +136. I think a far shrewder move is Auckland on the first 5. But either way, they're the only 2 ways you could attack this. You had to take the total, or you had to take some kind of punt on Auckland to get done. So money line or first 5 is the way to go there. Next up is the Houston Astros and the Chicago White Sox, which is an 8:10 Eastern first pitch. Jose Akidi will go for the Astros, and Johnny Cueto for the Chicago White Sox. Nothing on the board for this one. No lines. Don't know why. I saw both pitches announced relatively early. Munaf, do you have any feelings on this one without any numbers behind it?
No, if there's just not really any odds on it, Malcolm, I don't want to give anything out here. It's a pass for me without official lines.
Yeah, I agree with you. I can't. It's because it's an interesting game. It should be a good matchup, and you'd like to think there'd be an angle or some value somewhere, but it's hard to say where it's going to be. Dylan, did you manage to manufacture some lines yourself here?
Yeah, so my lines for this game is I made the Houston Astros a -130 favorite. -1.5 is +145. White Sox, same thing, +130. +1.5 is -140. As for the total, I made it 8.1. I just think the Astros are going to be favorite here. They're the much better team, and I like to fade the White Sox when they're at home. They're just not a good team at home, and Johnny Cueto has been pitching well. His record won't show it, but he does have a 2.91 ERA, so he has been pitching well. So with no lines, I slightly lean to the Astros depending on what the line opens up at.
No coincidence that Moonaf doesn't want to handicap this baseball game while Sepp Stracker's standing over a foot, which could torpedo his bet. Right, I'll introduce the next game, Moonaf, and we should know from your face or any noises that you make whether this putt goes in or not. Or we're heading to a playoff, possibly, people. 8:10 Eastern first pitch is the LA Dodgers at the Milwaukee Brewers, where Julio Urias will go for the Dodgers and Freddie Peralta will be on the bump for the Brewers. It's another home puppy, +136. The Dodgers are -158. The total is set at 8, and I'm going to pause for about 1 second as that putt is missing on the left-hand side. Munaf lives to go down the first playoff hole.
You're ahead of me, huh?
Oh, shit, sorry, did I just spoil
No, you're good. No, you're good.
Oh, it's all right, you missed.
My blood pressure came down a little bit, but yeah, you never know. But thank you.
That would have been extra funny if we'd managed to get you beat without you even knowing it. But anyway, right, okay, I'll shut up again. I'll talk about baseball. That's what I'll do. Urias is 12-6, 2.49 ERA, 122 2/3 pitched, 117 strikeouts. Freddie Peralta is 4-2, 4.37 ERA, 47 1/3, 57 strikeouts. Urias has been absolutely flying along, 5-0 in his last 5 starts with a 1.09 ERA. Pitched against Milwaukee last time. gave up 1 earned run on 5 hits, over 7 innings pitched. So yeah, nothing but trust for what Arias is doing at the moment. Peralta it'll be his 3rd start back from the IL. He's given up 4 earned runs in the 8 2/3. He's pitched so far. He's still settling down, not fully stretched out, getting sort of 3 and 4 innings length out of him at the moment. You probably know that I haven't been in on the Brewers recently at all. LA Dodgers can get to Peralta, and they're just always winning on the run line. When the Dodgers win, they do it comfortably. I know they've dropped one tonight, but the Dodgers run line has been a good bet for me. I think that combination of the trust you have in Arias, the anemic Brewers offense, and the fact I don't think Peralta will go too far into this game, I think the Dodgers can do this comfortably. So the Dodgers on the run line for me, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to ride this Dodgers train, and they've been rolling for over a week now. I know they lost today, but there's no reason not to continue to back them. I don't know about you guys, but Freddie Peralta isn't a guy that scares me off this. He definitely doesn't scare this lineup either. So 12-1 in their last 13 on the run line, and Freddie Peralta, just coming back off the IL. He's been before that though, he's been very inconsistent for my liking. So not really a guy I'd like to back, and especially going up against Urias now, who, like you mentioned, Malcolm, he's been on fire his last 5 starts. So give me the Dodgers to keep it rolling, -1.5. And I'm surprised we're getting plus money.
Yeah, Moonaf, you can give us your full attention now for the next 3 minutes. What have you got on this Dodgers-Brewers game?
I mean, you guys mentioned it. If you're going to bet on the Dodgers, it's going to have to be on the run line. Malcolm, this was a conversation we had last season about the Astros.
Yeah.
Like, if we like the Astros, you just bet the run line. And, if you bet them over the past, 13 games, I think you're 12-1 and you're sitting pretty. So I'm trying to see how Freddie Peralta has done against the Dodgers in his career. He had 1 start last season where he did go 6 innings, only gave up 1 earned run. But again, this is just a completely different Dodgers team right now. In the way they're hitting. I know you mentioned that they dropped the one on Sunday against the Royals, but not a huge road trip going from Kansas City to Milwaukee. I think the Dodgers get back to their winning ways here. Give me the run line as well. Julio Urias on the road so far this season, 7-4 with a 2.27 ERA, and filtering it down and see how he's done against the Brewers. In his career, he's 4-1 with a 2.29 ERA. Last season, he went 13 1/3 innings against the Brewers and only allowed 2 earned runs in that span. 2 starts, 1 earned run each, and the Dodgers won both of those games, I believe, on the run line. Yeah, 16-4, and then the second game in October was 8-3 victory for Julio Urias and the Dodgers. So, give me the Dodgers run line here with you guys as well with the plus money here.
I've got cramp in my right foot, worse than childbirth, I imagine. But I'm going to battle on through. I don't know how I've got cramp just sitting here podcasting. Speaks testament about my overall physical fitness. 2 games left to handicap here. 9:38 Eastern first pitch is the Seattle Mariners at the LA Angels, where Luis Castillo will go for the Mariners, and Shohei Ohtani is on the mound for the Angels. The Mariners are plus 125. Angels are minus 145. Total 6.5. Second 6.5 we've seen tonight. Castillo is 5-4, 271 ERA, has pitched 99 2/3 with 105 strikeouts. Ohtani is 10-7, 268 ERA, 111 innings pitched, 157 strikeouts. Yikes. This is Castillo's 3rd start for Seattle since coming across. His previous 2 were both against the Yankees. Last time out, scoreless through 8 innings as well. Really good. So I'm expecting a good start from Castillo. I thought a K prop was a possibility here as well. Very consistent. His last 5 starts, he's struck out 7, 8, 8, 8, 8. And the Angels, as we've discussed previously, strike out a lot. I know they were second, I think, the last time I checked, a little while ago. So yeah, Castillo could see what the line is, but certainly get to 8, maybe above that as well. Ohtani just keeps on going. He's been exceptional. But I don't know how, at any point, you can make the Angels a minus 145 favourite. Yeah, the Mariners have improved their playoff odds more than any other team. By over 90%, the Mariners have improved their playoff odds while they've been on this little purple patch that they've been in. The Angels are this short a price due to the presence of Ohtani and nothing else. We talked about this with Garrett Cole earlier on. I think it's a similar thing. Mariners are a better team. And they haven't got a bum on the mound either. They've got Castillo, who's an ace. Seattle at plus 125. Looks like a life-changing price to me. I shall be snapping that up, Moonaf. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a bit of a head scratcher. I mean, Castillo has been going pretty well here for the Mariners. I know he's faced the Yankees, I don't know, like every day over the last month, it seems like. 3 out of his last 4 starts have been against the Yankees. But, he's going well for the Mariners here, and he goes up against the Angels here. Again, can you trust the Angels offense? I don't think you can. I think that, despite how great Ohtani has been, he just hasn't gotten the run support from his teammates for him to win the last couple games here. And I know he's gone up against Texas, Oakland, and Oakland over his last 4 starts where, he's been pretty good. And, he had that stretch where he was in double-digit strikeouts for about 6 straight games. But I love your call on the strikeout prop here for Luis Castillo, Malcolm there. So, you kind of take a look at his strikeout numbers. He has at least 8 strikeouts in 4 of his last 5 starts, whether it's been for the Mariners or for the Cincinnati Reds. And like you mentioned, Angels are one of the teams that do strike out a lot here. I love the price here on the plus money with the Mariners at plus 130. I'll take the Mariners and Luis Castillo on the mound against Shohei Ohtani and the Angels.
Dylan, team ride on Seattle?
Team ride, give me the dog here, boys.
Yeah, baby.
I did make the Angels a favorite, but only a minus 110. I think you nailed it. I don't understand how they can make him a minus 150 favorite. And it's just based on his name. It's just based because Ohtani's on the mound. But I got to take Castillo here. He's had 2 starts with the Mariners, and like you said, both were against the Yankees. He looked great in those 2 outings, 2 runs in 14 2/3 innings against a lineup that's really impressive. So Ohtani, he has lost his last 2 starts at home to the A's and the Rangers. So might see some regression coming from him. I just trust Castillo and the Mariners more in this spot. So I'll probably be on the Mariners first 5 plus a half, and I'll take a flyer on the full game plus 130.
Yeah, absolutely. Last game here is currently off the board, so it might be a brief one. 9:45 Eastern. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants. Officially TBD for Arizona. I've got Mad Bum going, Madison Bumgarner, and Alex Cobb will get the start for the Giants. I've got no lines for this at all, and therefore nothing else to add. Either of you want to tell me anything about the Diamondbacks or the Giants here?
Yeah, nothing. I didn't even have my Madison Bumgarner going, so
okay.
Definitely nothing from me.
Moonaf?
Bumgarner and Alex Cobb. I mean, I could tell you the numbers how San Francisco is doing against left-handed pitching this season. I mean, they're number 12 against left-handed pitching, but Bumgarner, is there some extra motivation here? Maybe going up against his former team? I'm not so sure, but he's been giving up the runs over his past, I think, 5 starts. For the Diamondbacks. I mean, he has a 5.58 ERA on the road, 6.55 ERA, 7 walks, only 3 strikeouts. He's given up 8 earned runs in 11 innings pitched over, 2, I think that's 2 starts on the road. So if I had to, you made me pick a game here or a side here, I'd probably go with the Giants here, but no official play without any official lines.
Yeah, not much at all on that last one for anybody. Lock and dog picks to come before this golf playoff starts, and Moonaf can carry on sweating in peace. Trade Coffee is back. Trade Coffee, the brand that connects customers to the freshest and best tasting coffee we have ever made by partnering with the country's best craft roasters, independent businesses from big cities and small towns. Truly impactful as well. This is expert tasted coffee. Trades Coffee team taste tests thousands of coffees and will find the right one for you. There's a first match guarantee as well. They're so confident they'll match you with the right coffee first time. If they don't, they'll take your feedback and an actual coffee expert will work with you to send a brand new bag for free. The thing to do is answer a couple of questions on the website, and you'll get your own personalized variety of coffees delivered fresh to you just as often as you like. Either a bag of freshly roasted coffee, beans, or ground, however you brew it. They guarantee you love your first order, or they will replace it for free. Trade are offering subscribers a total of $30 off their first order, plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/SGP. Get started by taking the quiz at drinktrade.com/SGP. Let Trade find you a coffee you love. That's drinktrade.com/SGP for $30 off. And finally, Dave. Dave will help you out of a little hole if you're a little bit short of cash at the end of the month for some bills or whatever you need the money for. I think we can all empathise being in that situation. A little treat. Give yourself a little treat from future you by using Dave, the banking app that will get you up to $500 instantly with extra cash. Use that money to fill your tank, buy a gift, catch up on bills, etc. If you download the Dave app from the App Store, that is DAVE, sign up for an extra cash account, get up to $500 instantly. For T's and C's, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve, member of the FDIC. Okay, Moonaf, we will let you lead off. You've got bigger fish to fry here. What's your lock and dog for the Monday slate of games?
Yeah, for my lock, I really like the over in that Orioles and Blue Jays game with Kikuchi and Kyle Bradish. I think that we'll see runs being put up in this game. I don't like any of these pitchers, especially Kikuchi. And Bradish did figure some things out, but when he was coming back, I think it's from the injury, but I just think that with these two offenses that we do see runs being put up. I know Orioles gave it to the Blue Jays earlier this week where, they faced each other. There was runs being put up in that game. And I think Blue Jays can, tack on runs as well. So over 9 for me between the Orioles and the Blue Jays. And for my dog, there's a couple I did like, but I think my favorite one is going to be that Seattle Mariners money line with Luis Castillo going up against Shohei Ohtani and the Angels. Castillo's been great. I just don't trust the Angels offense to put up runs against Castillo. I think that maybe if Angels can tag the Mariners for a few, I think the Mariners can tag Ohtani for a few. I think they can get the job done. So I'll take the plus 130 money line on the Mariners.
Okay, Dylan, same question, lock and dog. Yeah, this usually doesn't happen to me, but Moonoff took my picks. I'm going to stay with the over because that's going to be my best play of the day. I love the over for all the reasons Moonoff said. We're going to fade both pitchers. Both offenses are familiar with the pitchers as well. So we're going to go over 9 in the Blue Jays and Orioles game. And I did want to take the Mariners as my dog, but
do it, Dill. Do it.
No peer pressure this time. I'm actually going to take the Dodgers on the run line plus 115. It's ridiculous. We're getting plus money with the Dodgers, so I think they bounce back. Freddie Peralta, he's kind of fraudulent in my opinion, so I think the Dodgers nail him. So give me the Dodgers on the run line.
Okay, so we talked Dylan out of that one. My lock's going to be the Chicago Cubs to get the win away at the Washington Nationals. Obviously they're a bit of a risk taking the Cubs, but they have been playing better baseball lately. Marcus Stroman has been trustworthy, and Josiah Gray is just really on the bottom part of his form cycle at the moment. He has been backable in certain spots, but just not at the moment, and the Nats really are struggling. So give me the Cubs at minus 139. And for my dog, I'm not going to be talked out of it. That's Seattle. I nearly made this Seattle my lock at plus 125. I'm that confident about it. Moonoff probably doesn't want to hear that. But I just think it's a great price. I can't have the Angels anywhere near a minus 140 favourite. This looks like one of the value bets of the season for me. Castillo plus 125 with the Seattle Mariners. So there you go. Moonoff, we will keep this sign off short and sweet because the two golfers are stood on the 18th tee. Good luck, Moonoff. We hope you win, sir.
I appreciate it. Yeah, they just took off on the first playoff hole, but no, baseball. We're winding down the season, boys. It's getting closer and closer to the playoffs. I'm excited, but we're gonna be here as usual. You guys know it. So we'll be back tomorrow for the Tuesday game. So looking forward to this coming week. Ever so closer to football as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Dylan, what's your Sunday night look like?
Nothing much. Just watching some Sunday night baseball, relaxing, and Yeah, hopefully pumping out some more winners. Up and moving off. Not good.
Oh, what was that noise, Munaf?
I thought he was in the water, but it bounced off the edge there. But for Straka, but I have a good feeling that I'm going to lose this. But
I hope you win.
I hope so too, but it's not looking very good.
He's definitely going to win. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks to the boys in the chat. Good luck with all your bets. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to have a good week this week. I can sense it. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everybody. Until then, we will see you down the road. Cheers.